What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Game Time here on the Game Time Sports Channel. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us here to talk about all the stuff going on in the NFL, the NBA, and assorted stories connected to the world of sports. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by Winston A. Marshall, the king of swag. How are you, Winston?
I'm in hell. Like you would think the Cowboys beating the brakes off of Bill Belichick, I would be happy, but I'm just in hell.
What?
I just want this. Can the Chiefs be bad? Like, can they go play like baseball? I don't like baseball. Baseball's mid. Like leave me alone. Leave me alone.
If they won't call holding on the Chiefs and they'll only call holding on the Jets, that's how the Chiefs keep winning sometimes. So we're going to get into that and piss off Sean Brennan here as the show goes along for sure. But that was a lucky escape against the Jets the other night. That's one of the games we're definitely going to be talking about here. And I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, the Streamlabs are open. We can't do super chats yet because we're not at 1,000, but we did cross 500 the other day. So thank you to everybody who's been subscribing to the channel here over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate it madly, but let's get to 1,000 as quickly as possible. If you're watching this, please subscribe down below and hit that bell button. And if you want to send a Streamlabs question here, it's in the chat. It's in the description of the video as well, and it's right above our heads in the middle here. And we will talk about all that. The way we usually do the show, for those who might be new, we break down like the top 5 or 6 games of the weekend, then we take a break and then talk about everything else from the weekend, and then boom, we'll get into some other sports stories as well. But Winston, let's get it going. We were remiss not to start with the Dolphins and the Bills game, which was the premier game of the weekend here. Josh Allen threw 4 touchdown passes. He also ran for another touchdown, and the Bills routed the Dolphins 48-20. This was close for about the first half, and then all of a sudden the Bills just absolutely asserted their dominance there in Orchard Park, New York. Stephon Diggs finished with 6 catches for 120 yards and had 3 touchdowns, which is his 4th 3-touchdown game of his career, the 3 of them happening in Buffalo. Allen threw for 320 yards here overall and posted his 10th career outing with 4 touchdowns. The Dolphins did have 393 yards of offense, but the Buffalo defense really came to play. They held Miami to 3 of 10 on 3rd down and 0 of 3 for 4th down. Tua had 282 yards and a touchdown. So what are your thoughts coming out of this? Everyone was saying that the Dolphins' best team, Stephen A. Smith, couldn't shut up about how great the Dolphins were, winning 70-20, beating a hapless Broncos team there. And now they come into Orchard Park against a division rival, and they got the brakes beat off of them. So you tell me what you take out of this game.
All right, look, I recently found out. I recently found out that I have ADHD. I did testing for it and everything, right? So sometimes I forget things, but there's one thing that I definitely remember. All right, okay. I said the Dolphins are good.
Yes,
but they ain't played nobody yet. All right.
Yeah, true.
The Chargers are fraudulent. They should be playing a lot better than they are, but they decided to go get Kellen Moore. I tried to warn y'all about Kellen Moore.
Oh.
They played the Patriots, who can't decide if they want to be good or not. And based upon the beating we gave them this past weekend, it's looking like they not. And then the Broncos, we already know the Broncos ain't good. Of course you're going to put up 70 on them. And I look back at it because the whole story about Mike McDaniel apparently was the ball boy for the Broncos, begged just to be in the conversation for head coach, and they wouldn't even give him an interview. Yeah. So I get there was a lot of beef there, and I think it was stupid. You go for the record. You're never scoring 70 points again. You go get that 73.
No doubt.
You hold the record because that's the only thing Washington got going for them. Now you want to take their soul. You should have taken that record from them.
1966, we've been holding on to it, man.
So now here you are. You go against your division rival, the strongest team in your division outside of you.
Yeah.
And then you get held to 20 points, and it looks like they about to hang 70 on your ass before it's all said and done, bro. Like, the Dolphins are still really good. The Dolphins will make the playoffs. Sure. They might, but the one thing that really came to fruition here, Tua is good. Tua ain't that guy yet. Okay? No. Yeah. Tyreek Hill is a cheat code, but at the same time, if you ain't got the person that can make sure the ball is getting to you at every point it needs to be, cheat code don't matter, okay? The only good thing that proved this person is here to stay and they are the future of that backfield is a chain, man.
Yeah.
He was out there balling. Still had 101 on 8 carries
Yep.
and 2 touchdowns. All right, so he's the truth. I'll give them that credit. Otherwise, this was the Bills telling everybody that old Aaron Rodgers adage we love to say, relax.
Yeah.
Okay. And does Josh Allen still need to be put on blast? A little bit. Let's not pretend like he doesn't have Dak Prescott tendencies where he'll throw. Seriously, he'll put up, in this case, 320 and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? He'll do that to you. And then a week later, he'll put up 105, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. Like, let's not pretend that he doesn't have that same kind of Brett Favre gunslinger, I could win this all for you and I could blow it all for you, man, like ability.
Yeah.
But today was about how the Bills are like, you ain't going to be talking about my little brother like he runs shit. I'm still the older brother here. All right. That's what it is. The Bills are the team to beat in the AFC East. And I'm glad that the Dolphins finally got a challenge. I hope that they now look at their defense, which is sus as hell. And they really go and do something about it.
Yeah, a lot of people's complaints coming out of last week, if you could have any complaints about that game against the Broncos, was that the defense still allowed the Broncos to score 20 points. And yes, I know you've got Russell Wilson there or whatever, but still allowing them to do that when you're winning by so many is incredible. They allowed the Chargers to score 34 points and almost lost that game to the Chargers here. So these games have been close, 36-34, 24-17, and then the blowout with the Broncos, but then getting absolutely walloped here against the Bills. They've got the Giants next, which is going to be a victory for sure. Panthers, but then they play the Eagles in Philadelphia. That's going to be another strong test for Tua versus Jalen Hurts. So that sounds familiar. That's going to be interesting to see those guys going at it as well. And so the Dolphins could have a come to Jesus moment because they have the Chiefs 2 weeks later after the Eagles as well. So we're going to find out a lot about these Dolphins as the weeks go along. But I think people praised them way too much coming out of last week against the Broncos. For me, I felt that they were praised too much.
They deserve the praise. You know who the Dolphins remind me of right now?
Who's that?
They remind me of the Vikings of last year, where they were doing the same thing to teams, and then they would go up against teams that actually had business being in the conversation of, I'm going to go deep in the playoffs, and they got a little exposed. Now, the difference is, I think the Dolphins are actually good. I never truly believed in the Vikings, so I think they will take this on the chin. You need that loss under your belt to wake up. I think they're going to wake up. I think they will dominate. I still think the Bills will win the division. I think that the Dolphins will end up with the highest wild card in the AFC. I think they'll go deep in the playoffs, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean what just happened isn't an issue. And there are people in the chat already being like, what's Tua supposed to do if the defense ain't holding people back from 48? Okay, they were able, like they were out here. Right. It's that if Tua is the truth, he's the MVP frontrunner, because that's what he was. And I said, no, he's not. I said Tyreek Hill or a chain so far are the 2 Dolphins that look like MVP frontrunners. You know what I'm saying? That was that. And to my point, a chain will probably win Rookie of the Year. The rate that he's going, that's probably locked up. If he continues to have multiple touchdown games like this, that's on lock. Okay. But this doesn't take away from the Dolphins being good, but let's just come back down to earth the same way that I unfortunately had to learn that lesson last weekend. Not the one that just passed, but the one before. Right. With the Cowboys are still extremely good. But they got humbled, and you had to wake up and say, where are the holes? How do we fix this? So,
we'll see. I mean, and the other part that was troubling out of this game, not only the loss, but they allowed the Buffalo Bills to sack Tua 4 times. When he had only been sacked once in the previous 3 games to start the season. So if that becomes a trend against these tougher, more talented teams, that's going to be very troubling to see for Tua, who we know is concussion prone. And that could be an issue for the Dolphins down the road as well. So tough loss. You shake it off, see what you can do. You got the Giants. You'll destroy the Giants, but then you've got these other teams coming up that are going to test you for sure. And we'll see how they come out in the next 5 weeks. We'll know a little bit more about the Dolphins for sure. But the Bills now, winning all these games right after they lost to the Jets is very similar to what they did, I think, last year when they lost to Pittsburgh in that weird home loss there in Buffalo, and then came storming back out all the way into the playoffs. Still got knocked out by the Bengals, but did nice work. So could be interesting to see if the Buffalo Bills are starting to feel themselves a little bit more here as this goes along. but you're not wrong about Josh Allen. Watching the game, there were a couple of moments, 3 or 4 moments actually, where he held on that ball too long, way too long, waiting for that play to develop, either got sacked or threw it away in those situations. So just a little troubling to see, man.
He's a gunslinger, bro. He's Favre. Like, that's the thing. And that, like, let's not pretend that, like, when Favre was playing, like, he was simultaneously one of the most thrilling and one of the most frustrating quarterbacks to watch.
100%.
Because when he's on, he is destroying you. But when he's off, he is destroying you, like your soul. So, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing I see with Josh Allen, where sometimes you're like, bro, you're so good. Why are you doing this?
Right.
And that, but yesterday or Sunday was not that day for him. He was balling out of control, and you got to give him props for it.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens, as the season goes along, because certainly the Buffalo Bills do great in the regular season. It's the playoffs where they struggle. Let's move on to your Cowboys there. Winston, they scored twice on defense in this 38-3 blowout of the Patriots. This is Belichick's worst loss ever, apparently, in the regular season. Deron Bland returned one of his 2 interceptions for a touchdown. Leighton Vander Esch scooped up a fumble for a score, and they blew him out. Mac Jones was responsible for all 3 turnovers, and he was pulled in the second half by Belichick here. He was 12 of 21 for 150 yards. They spoiled Ezekiel Elliott's return, which I had totally forgot he was on the Patriots. That's how bad the Patriots
I didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. And just killed them here. Prescott was 28 of 34 for 261 with an INT and a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb. Finally throwing a touchdown to a receiver this late into the season. But your thoughts overall on your Cowboys here and their dismantling of the Patriots?
I mean, I think we have reestablished what this defense is. This defense really is. I think we're still. If we had the generational defense conversation, I think pretty solidly locked with Diggs in. I think if that means you're having like an 11 out of 10 on a defense, losing Diggs dropped them to like a 9 out of 10.
Right
there, it looked like 5 out of 10 last week when we were allowing for over 200 plus rushing yards, but showing what they did here. And like your real running back in Stevenson, because I love Elliott. He did so much for us, but there's a reason we let him go. He was averaging like 2.5 a carry last year, and he averaged 2.7 here. So clearly that was not going to be the case. You thought maybe there would be enough emotion in it for him to go off. That's not. Let's be real. You held Stevenson to 14 carries and 30 yards. So you fixed your rushing issue. And then you just obliterated Mac Jones. Only 150 through the air, 2 interceptions on him, 2 defensive scores. Like, this defense is wild, bro. And I will say this. I think the big test for the Cowboys is going to come this weekend. And the reason why you haven't had a situation, Arizona was the first one, where the Cowboys are having to potentially play from behind. The Niners defense is strong enough to keep Dak in check, and their offense is rolling, where like that will be the real battle all day is the Niners offense versus the Cowboys defense. I think that we're stronger, but you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Debo, you have Ayuk. They will score. It's and just I don't give a shit about Brock Purdy.
Don't forget about Brock Purdy.
He's fine.
Don't forget about Brock Purdy.
Fine.
The white Jesus. He is the white Jesus.
He's fine. You know what? They said this about Daniel Jones, and we're going to talk about that asshole in a little bit.
I never said that, event.
No, they called him White Vic. They called him White Vic. They said White Vic out here balling. No, he's not. Okay? Brock Purdy, I will give Brock Purdy his due. He has not lost yet. If he starts a game and finishes a game, he is undefeated. He deserves credit. But Brock Purdy ain't putting up the Josh Allen numbers we just saw. He's not out here balling like Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy is fine. If Brock Purdy has a game that he can hang out, see, now I got to knock on wood, because now all of a sudden it's going to be this fucking game that he decides to hang up on everybody. No, he's not. No, he's not. Oh my God. Okay. Look, all I will say,
go ahead, we'll get into the Brock Purdy stuff a little bit later.
We'll get to it. All I am saying is this: the real battle of next weekend is between the Dallas defense and the Niners offense.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
We already can acknowledge that right now that Niners defense is doing significantly better than the Cowboys offense is doing. Yeah. They're not So it's going to be how well can that Dallas defense keep the Niners offense in check. And if you can, this will be a low scoring defensive, just like, holy crap, who can get 3 field goals, who can get that 1 touchdown. That's what it'll come down to, as long as the Dallas defense can hold up against this offense. This is a true test. If we beat the Niners
in San Francisco, by the way,
in San Francisco, which we do have a good track record doing.
Yes,
maybe not in the playoffs, but during the regular season. I think we won like the last 3 or 4 times we were there. Something like that. If we can pull this off, I would present to the jury that we are the best team in football. If we can do it. Okay. If I'm being honest, there's a reason why the spread is moving towards the Niners. I think they got like -4.5. I think is what it is. There's a reason for that.
Right.
I, as a fan, think we're winning this. Right. I think as a semi-amateur analyst, I unfortunately have the Niners right now, if I'm just being honest.
Yeah, me too. I have the Niners beating you guys as well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, because I think the Niners will. I'll get to that in a second. But real quick question. I saw some reports yesterday, Winston, as people were reacting to this loss. People are saying kind of quietly that there are reports coming out that Belichick is on the hot seat. Now, what would you do with that information? Do you believe that information? And could we see Bill Belichick coaching another team next season in the NFL?
I guess it depends on how much he wants it anymore.
Yeah.
You got to remember, something similar happened to Sean Payton. Breeze left.
Right. Yes.
Peyton did okay for half a second with Jameis coming in, but then things just kind of hit the fan. So he said, screw this. And he retired. Yeah. Then he unretired and went to the Broncos.
How's that working out? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's because there's a lot of drama over there. Yeah. It makes me then wonder if Belichick maybe looks at his life. He's in his mid 70s. I think he's 73, something like that. You've won every accolade you possibly could. You've gotten Coach of the Year. You've won 6 Super Bowls. I don't know. I'd be fine to be like, I done it and I'm rich. I retire. I why not? Or go Coughlin with it, and maybe you leave the Patriots and go be like the head of football personnel or something for another team. Do something like that. If I were him, yes, you have this here, but you've done it here. Maybe you get a Brady mentality and you do, like I see someone said, maybe Belichick goes, fuck it, I'm going to Chicago. And he's like, let me go fix the Bears. How fire would that be if he just decided, I'm just going to go to another team and I'm just going to see if I can just do the damn thing? That would be interesting to me. I don't know.
Yeah, where he has unfinished business is the Browns. He was 8-8 and 9-8, I think, the second season, and then was fired. But there's unfinished business there. Turning around Cleveland or turning around Chicago would be a hell of a cap or feather in his cap for Bill Belichick. I'd be down to see that for sure. A little change of scenery, because he picked Mac Jones and he is stuck by Mac Jones, and there has been minor improvement every year, Jack, to Mac Jones, but not that much. And so he's got to stand by that decision. And so for me, I'd get the hell out of there and go someplace else, man.
I got to ask you, man.
Yeah.
Are you taking Mac Jones? Or are you taking Daniel Jones? Which of the Joneses is you taking, MJ or DJ?
I'll take Spike Jones. I don't know. I don't know if I take either of those guys to be.
No, you don't have a choice. There is 2 quarterbacks left in the league for your team. Do you take Mac Jones? Do you take Daniel Jones?
I guess I take Daniel Jones because he took a team to the playoffs, and he can do stuff with his legs. And although I think the Daboll mystique is now wearing off of him as a coach, I still think Daniel Jones can be a competent NFL quarterback. Not a great NFL quarterback, but certainly something like Brad Johnson or these other quarterbacks that just hang around for 14 fucking years in the league.
Sure.
Whereas I think Mac is about maybe a season or 2 away from crashing out of the league and becoming like a third stringer, becoming the Jake Delhomme. Yeah, I don't see Mac becoming of any use in the next season or 2. Yeah.
I'll just say this. The one thing is we only got 1 sack on Mac Jones. Daniel Jones looked like he Jar Jar Binks in the middle of that war when the drones are coming here. like just hanging on to everything from both us and from Seattle. They sacked him like 9 times. He looked terrified. At least what I can give Mac Jones credit for is that he's at least looks a little bit more composed. He just makes dumb mistakes like running all the way to the right, then throwing across your body for a pick 6.
So ridiculous.
That was stupid.
Yeah. What skill set do you think you have that you can do something like that? Haskell makes an excellent point. Bring Belichick back to the Giants. He started there. Let him in there. If anybody can turn Daniel Jones into a decent to great NFL quarterback, it is Bill Belichick. I mean, a tall white dude who likes to stand in the pocket but occasionally run. There's possibilities here.
Brady don't run. Brady don't run for shit. Brady jogs out on the field. All I'm saying is, why would you wish that on us, bro? Why would you wish Bill Belichick in our division so then we have to deal with this?
That's true. Well, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. And speaking of our division, let's move on to our next game. Jalen Hurts threw for 319 yards and led the Eagles here to 4-0 with a 34-31 victory over my Commanders in overtime. This was such a fun game that I turned off at least 5 separate times thinking we were cooked, but we kept coming back and fighting back through this whole thing. And I got to give credit to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I mean, Sam Howell, we beat them last year in their house when they were 8-0. So I thought for sure we were going to turn it around. And when Bieniemy and Howell came up with that concoction at the end of the game to purposely throw the ball as soon as it was snapped to stop the clock at 1 second to fuck with the defense, that was genius. And I thought, okay, let's go for 2. But Riverboat Ron apparently was on a safe roll and went for the 1 instead. And then we ended up losing in overtime. But this was a damn good game, I thought, from both teams. A.J. Brown had 9 catches for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sam Howell threw for 290 yards and a touchdown. Brian Robinson rushing for 45 yards and a TD. But this was a good old school NFC East hard scrabble battle. And Winston, we were texting back and forth with Mark Ellis throughout this game, and you were hoping we beat them.
I asked but in the end, they did one thing. I don't ask you for anything, Rocha. I don't ask you for anything. Okay. I occasionally ask you for, hey, where's the StreamYard link so we can do the show? I'd be like, hey, do you have a thumbnail? I'll make sure to post it on a tweet like 5 minutes before because I forget until we have to put it up for the show. I don't ask you for shit. And only thing I ask you for is this is the best opportunity I see for the Eagles to take an early L and bring them down a peg, because now people want to be like, oh, they're 4-0. But as someone said in the comments, man, they are skating by these wins. It's proof that the Eagles are still very good. Let's not say that they aren't, but they are not the Super Bowl trip Eagles that they were last year, because they are barely winning these games. They were handedly winning these games last year. Yeah. And now they are barely skating by on teams that like shouldn't be that in it. Like the Patriots should not have been that close. You know what I'm saying? Like the Vikings game, box scores don't always tell the truth. There was a last minute issue that ended up with them getting another touchdown up, but that was a 1 touchdown game until like the last 2 to 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Great win on the Bucks, but why are the Commanders? No offense, you guys just aren't there yet. Why are the Commanders that close? I get it's a division game. That's always going to up the ante. But there's no business y'all had being this close to them to win this game.
I know. I was really surprised. I really was. I thought for sure we'd have lost. We lost this game like 10 times over. But no, kept fighting, and you know what? It was a loss, but I didn't feel bad about the loss because of what happened last week. I like the way we bounced back against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year and was undefeated, and we gave them everything that we got, just ran out of time, just couldn't get it done in the overtime. Because I thought that was a catch by McLaurin there on the sideline. If the guy's arm is in bounds and my foot lands on your arm, guess what? I'm in bounds. But that's my own personal belief. But in the end,
the only reason that doesn't count, Rocha, because there have been a number of catches where a receiver catches the ball, lands on the defender, does not count as the ground, and they can keep running. So if that rule applies there, that's not the ground, so it doesn't count, the same thing would apply with that sideline catch.
Maybe you're right. But in the end, they took care of business. I got nothing but respect for this Eagles team and the way they're playing. I like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. He's tough. When they were down, he led them back after they'd been up. And so I like that he's got that resolve within him, because we were winning this thing 17-7 at one point. And I was really surprised by it all, but the Eagles kept coming back. And, Howell shows flashes of possibility but I don't know if he's ever going to get there. It's going to be interesting to see if him and Bieniemy continue after this season as a quarterback and offensive coordinator in for the Commanders. I would be curious to see, but I like what I saw here. I like what he's doing. I just need him to mature a little bit more because, like you said, they're just not there yet. And in the end, they got outlasted by these Eagles. But good victory on the Eagles, 4-0. They're just like Winston said, to me, they're a shaky 4-0. They're a shaky undefeated team. And I don't have much trust in them. But let's go to a 4-0 team that I do have a lot of trust in. That's the 49ers. Good God. Christian McCaffrey scored a career-high 4 touchdowns. He was denied a 5th touchdown that would have tied the San Francisco 49ers record when they were on the 1-yard line. Shanahan claimed he didn't know that he was in line to get a record here, which is always, I never believe coaches when they say that shit. Never, never, never. You're going to study everything about your franchise, but you're not going to know the records. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, scored 4 touchdowns, and the 49ers won their 14th regular season game, beating the Cardinals 35-16. McCaffrey gained 177 yards from scrimmage. He also broke Jerry Rice's franchise record by scoring a touchdown in his 13th straight game, including the playoffs. And Brock Purdy, went 20 for 21 for 283 yards and a touchdown, and he set the 49ers franchise record for completion percentage in a game. Not Joe Montana, not Steve Young, not Jeff Garcia, Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. So to me, this team is the best team in the NFL right now. I said it last week. I'm going to say it every week. I think this is the best team in the NFL, and Brock Purdy is becoming a great quarterback.
Can I ask a question? Because I refuse to watch Niners games because I hate them. Unless I have a team that I care about invested in playing.
Like this week. Right.
Right. So now I have to pay attention to these stupid ass 49ers.
Yeah.
Is this a situation where we're talking about a lot of yak out of these receivers? Or is this a situation where Brock Purdy is actually throwing straight dimes down the field?
I mean, it's good mix
you
of
still
both.
you still get the yardage. You still get the yardage. But there are times where I have even called out Dak where I'm like, bro, that wasn't you. That was CeeDee Lamb said, oh, and then like pulled a move over here. I say the same thing about Tua sometimes. I'm like, bro, that's not you. That's Tyreek Hill got the ball, and he had at least 4 yards of space between the nearest defender, which means he's going to burn everybody.
I mean, maybe, because, I mean, his average was 13.5 in the game here per pass. But Brandon Ayuk had 6 catches for 148 yards, and his average was 24.7. So that tells me that Purdy was throwing some dimes here. Now, I guess it was, people are like the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals just beat the fucking Cowboys. So you know what I'm saying?
Well, yes. You can have that. I would say that loss was more about us than it was about their win, because where have the Cardinals actually shown to be good outside of that one game? Yeah. That was more about us failing to show up. The Cardinals are not good. They were considered the worst team in football outside of the Bears until they beat us last week. Yeah. So let's not be like they just beat the Cowboys. We sucked. I'm openly admitting we sucked. The Cardinals weren't good. We were bad.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I will take that step back. I'm asking the question because I didn't see the game. If he's throwing some of these bombs, then more credit to you, man.
Yeah.
And he is arguably playing better this season than Dak. Because there's such a small sample size at this point, I would still take Dak over a career right now because of the high highs that Dak has hit. But if you're saying just who's playing better right now, the fact that we're having such red zone issues, I give it to Purdy. But you also have a situation. I love Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard ain't no goddamn McCaffrey.
No, right, exactly.
Jesus Christ, dude. Bro, helps. It helps. Playoffs? Like, bro, McCaffrey is a monster.
Yeah, but you guys had Ezekiel Elliott in his prime for a number of years and still couldn't get the situation. I'm just saying.
True, but we also did not have the defense that we have now. Like, you know what I'm saying? That the Niners have everything firing on all cylinders.
Right.
You've got arguably the number 1 or number 2 defense in the league. You've got arguably the top 3 offense in the league. They might even be number 1. I don't know the numbers right now. Like, you got everything going for you, and your division is. Well, I was going to say it's weak, but the Rams are actually looking good and the Seahawks look good. So it's not even that you're in a weak division. You're just rolling. You're having a good time.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think they're the best team in football. And I'm going to say something even more crazy because you know me, I love to be crazy. I think Brock Purdy is going to win a title before Josh Allen, before Joe Burrow, and before a number of these quarterbacks, that maybe even before Dak, a number of these quarterbacks that everyone loves and fawns all over. I think Brock's going to get himself a ring before it. And before he does, he's going to have one or two of these games where people have to admire what he's doing, because you can say everything you want about a system. You can say everything you want about weapons. There are plenty of young quarterbacks that have come into the league who have drafted way higher rounds and piss away weapons and piss away situations. And look at what Mac Jones is doing. You see a number of these quarterbacks coming in, and that's the great Bill Belichick under his tutelage, and he doesn't look anywhere near as good as Brock Purdy looks. So, to me, there are instincts and there are things that he's doing that I don't see young quarterbacks do in any system, and I think it's incredible what he's doing here. So, I mean, he's better than Roethlisberger was the first year he went into the
why would you put in the air that the Niners are going to win a Super Bowl? Like, how dare you?
I'm just saying it looks very
you're
obvious.
a bad friend. You're a bad friend. I can't believe you would say that. Like, come on, man.
The truths.
Come on, man. Hated enemy, and you're just gonna wish a title on them.
I'm not wishing a title. That's
probably gonna have to happen either this year or next. So kiss my ass. This is your fault. If they win a goddamn Super Bowl, I'm coming to your house and I'm spitting on your floor.
Yeah, and I want to hear, because I mean, Sean Brennan's in the chat. He's a good Chiefs fan, loves his Chiefs. He's always talking up his Chiefs as if they don't have all kinds of weapons, and they haven't had all kinds of weapons, and they haven't had a good to great defense every year. They have. When you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have Tyreek Hill, when you have these great weapons over the years, you're kind of stacking the deck. And I think the 49ers have stacked the deck as well. They saw what the Chiefs did, and they realized if we're going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, we need to be able to stack the deck on both sides of the ball in order to be able to beat that team.
That's the thing. The last Super Bowl they were in that got Mahomes their first title, they had that. They had Debo, I believe that was his sophomore campaign, I believe, something like that. It's been a while because I'll have to look up that team, but he had the weapons. He had this defense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just that Jimmy G just ain't the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He looks like the guy, but he's not the guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they've had the weapons. That might be the differentiating factor is a blend of McCaffrey and Purdy.
Yeah, I like and Ayuk. Don't count on Ayuk was looked at as a possible bust initially. The change to Brock Purdy has really kind of rejuvenated this guy's career. So yeah, it's been incredible to watch for sure. Let's see what is the Chiefs defensive rankings over the years from 2008 to 2021. Let's just start there. And you look at all these situations here and where they're ranked. Fascinating stuff to take a look at. Yeah, maybe not a great defense overall. Yeah, 24th, 22nd, 14th, 27th. So that's why you've got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes that's going to bail you out every single time, and put you in positions to win.
Is he though?
It seems like, I'm just saying.
Is he though? I love me some Patty, but we about to talk about this game, ain't we?
Yeah, we are going to get into this game for sure. Let's take a quick break before we do, and then we'll jump into the Chiefs and Jets, and we'll wrap up with the Titans routing the Joe Burrow and the Bengals and what that means for the Bengals here right after this. All right, let's get into it. This is Sean Brennan's favorite part of the show here, Winston. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
You always shit on the Chiefs.
And Tushka, if he's watching. But they beat the Jets here. Barely beat the Jets. The Jets barely beat the Jets 23-20 in front of Taylor Swift and Aaron Rodgers. Two divas there watching the game. Mahomes shook off a subpar performance after he threw two interceptions here. And the Chiefs blew a 17-point lead against the Jets, and they held on for 23-20. Victory. Mahomes became the fastest of 200 NFL touchdowns ever, was 18 of 30 for 203 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for 51 yards. Isaiah Pacheco has been a nice revelation, rushed for 115 yards and a touchdown on 20 carries. Travis Kelce had 6 catches for 60 yards and apparently was incredible because according to Taylor Swift's reactions, they were phenomenal. But there were a number of questionable calls on that final drive here for the Chiefs, so the final few drives for the Chiefs here that kind of kept them alive. Michael Carter intercepted Mahomes on a 3rd and 20, but Sauce Gardner was called for a holding call that was really phantom when you look at that replay. And on that Mahomes run that kept the drive alive, that was, I think, 3rd and 23 or whatever, you can clearly see the Chiefs offensive line holding the Jets defensive lineman to the point where the guy's arms are flailing as homie is grabbing his jersey. It was so obvious the refs didn't throw some flags here in this situation. So you have to ask questions. But I'll tell you who comes out of this game looking good, man. Zach Wilson. He had his best game ever since taking over, 28 of 39 for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Your thoughts on this game here, Winston?
I was so happy for Zach Wilson. That was the only thing I enjoyed about this game. The only thing that I enjoyed about this game was Zach Wilson. And I will give you the Patrick Mahomes slide at the end also made me very happy, because while Mahomes, in my opinion, had a pretty bad game.
Yeah.
Those are 3. I'm going to say it's 3 interceptions. It may not be on the stat sheet. That was 3 bad interceptions. Not like I slapped the ball up and someone went and got, like, what are you doing? Type interceptions. Where I was even tweeting out, I was like, oh shit, has the Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson curse already hit the Chiefs? Like, what's happening right now? But what I give him credit for is something similar that happened. I will never forget when the Lakers beat the Celtics, Kobe's last title.
Oh, yeah.
There was a situation where that final game, Kobe couldn't hit a shot to save his life. I think he had like 10 points in that game.
I remember.
He had like 25 rebounds because he essentially was like, you know what? If I can't do it the way I normally do it, I'm going to find a way to be productive.
Yeah.
And what I give Patrick Mahomes so much credit for, other than having 51 yards on the ground himself, that last slide was so clutch. They have no timeouts.
Yep.
If you score, they get the ball back. That you are then putting it on your defense to try and hold it out. If you stop right there at the 1, it made me laugh because I got a homie that is doing fantasy football for his 2nd year, and he decided to take Patrick Mahomes at number 5. I was like, are you smoking crack? He's good, but are you smoking crack? He's like, I don't know no other players. I took Patrick Mahomes. So knowing that he was like, I need Mahomes to go off, he goes, great, 1 more touchdown, I got this. And Patrick Mahomes slid it and stopped. So it was a smart play where I could applaud Holmes for being brilliant. Yeah. And I could also laugh at my friend that he stopped. He was so bad. But
yeah, I mean, his slide affected the spread, and made all the money for the houses, not the bettors, by sliding there in that moment. So it was a smart play, because the Eagles in the Commanders game scored way too early, left in minute 45, then blew it on the kickoff, and so or did the unsportsmanlike celebration that ended up costing them in the end. They're leading the game to overtime. Mahomes understood the situation because he's a smart quarterback. Slide down there, let the clock run out. There's no need for personal glory in that moment. We're gonna get the W. Let's not extend the game, So, and I'm sure Taylor has a bedtime. She's on the tour. She's got to get to bed. So there's part of that as well. But let's take a look at some of these situations here, Winston. I got to get your thoughts on this. I mean, this is the Sauce Gardner situation. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to make sure the sound's down. But this is what they called a holding here on this critical throw that Mahomes got an interception. These guys are jockeying for position. I don't know how that's necessarily a hold. These guys are both jockeying. He's not holding him back. Flag. What are your thoughts?
It was also such a late flag.
Yes,
holy crap. He waited until after the dude intercepted the ball and took off. So like the supposed holding had long. It's like he said, "Was that holding? Should I call it holding?"
Yeah,
I do like Taylor Swift. Holding. like bro. That was egregious.
Yeah.
That was not a hold. And anybody that tells you otherwise, and then they want to sleep on what was clearly a hold when Mahomes ran that off. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That is that's infuriating.
Let's take a look at what you're talking about here, Winston.
He does not turn him. Look at Sean getting pissed off. He did not turn him at all.
Turn him.
The receiver pushed him off. That was not
It's just like the Super Bowl, giving that phantom. Anyway, I don't want to start it. But yeah, here, take a look here. This is the hold. Now, what's Sean got to say on this? What's Sean got to say on this?
This is bad.
Sean,
really bad.
Sean, that's a hold.
Bro, let go of me. Stop it. Would you let go? Like he's literally out here in these streets being like, no, mom is going to get mad. Let me go.
I mean, how much more of a hold do you literally yanking the dude's jersey here? And apparently this happened on both sides of the ball. So you're seeing this holding for Mahomes to go. So look, I don't want to be one of those people like, who used to complain about Michael Jordan getting all the calls. This is the game. Once you're a star, the refs kind of help you out in certain moments because they're also fans of the game. But you also have to call it out when you see bullshit like this. And this was very obviously bullshit. And Robert Saleh got an unsportsmanlike conduct for yelling at the refs at the end there because he was pissed off about some of these calls.
Bro,
he knew they could have won that game.
He was so mad about that supposed hold for Gardner, running all the way down. You stupid son of a bitch! Like he just...
Yeah. There's the excuse. The players in front of the player, hands on the numbers. It will never be called. Bullshit. I've seen that called many, many times in the decades that I've watched the NFL. For God's sakes, you grab that jersey and yank it. It's a hold that gets called.
Can you play the Gardner one more time? I want to see something.
Which one?
Which one? The Gardner.
Oh yeah. Let me bring it up again
real quick, if you don't mind.
Give me a second. Fill in the time here. Let me find it.
No, take your time. I'm happy to, because this is what I do want to talk about. We're going to talk about how Harrison later was out of pocket for trying.
Oh yeah, I'm going to bring that up too if you want me. Do you want to bring that up? Okay,
that's too. We can bring them both. We can bring them both. But I am so happy for Zach Wilson because you're having leakage on social media of his team shitting on him. All of New York being like, fuck this kid. This kid is what, 24 years old? Yeah. He's trying to do his best. And they're acting out here like he's the devil incarnate come to New York. I am so happy for him that amongst all of this nonsense, amongst this situation where it's been nothing but just pomp and circumstance. Anywhere the Chiefs go at this point, that Zach Wilson, with probably the biggest spotlight on him, a Sunday night football game and the world watching because of Taylor Swift, that he actually did a good job. And I feel so happy for him.
Yeah. Well, let's bring up the hold as you were talking about here. Give me a second. I've got it up here and we'll take a look at it again and walk through it. I've got the slower version here. It's only 6 seconds. So,
because I want to see something. So 40, bro, it's within. Yeah. It's not a goddamn hold. Go back one more time. So he says that he turns him his route. No, he decides to go to the side. My guy pushed him off. Stop this. He didn't even go where the ball was. He was running opposite of the ball. My guy was running out. The ball goes to the outside. He's running inside. What are we talking about?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It made no sense on so many levels to have that call, especially a critical moment like that. But, it is what it is. The Chiefs get those calls now because they're big. They're big time, so you have to kind of respect that. Let's move on to the Rodney Harrison. Take a look at this. And this is what we're talking about. Rodney Harrison made some comments here that he tried to bait Chris Jones into saying negative shit about Zach Wilson. I want to get a better audio on this. And you guys, we'll listen to it. I think we're allowed to play this. And if we don't, I'll just erase it or edit it out of the show. But here's...
Was Zach better tonight than what you anticipated he would be watching him on tape? And you could be honest.
Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, we knew it was going to be a battle. He's continuing to get better week in and week out, and he's continuing to lead week in and week out.
But watching that tape, man, you got to look at this dude and say, "Oh, he is garbage." Like we should really tear him apart earlier.
Like I said, Zach Wilson is special, man. You just got to give the guy time. You know what I mean?
Wait. Did you say Zach Wilson is special?
Yeah.
I think he had a special night, but I don't think he's special. I've got to prove that over. You're special. Because you proved it over a course of time. He's not special.
Look at the uncomfortable laughs.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I mean, that's some crazy shit to be saying. I get it. Rodney was a bit of an asshole when he played, and I get it. That's kind of what people like about him. But I've seen him on the show. He's usually a pretty respectful guy, classy guy. This seemed like a little bit over the line, like he wanted to pile on top of everybody else and go.
On the night that he balled out.
Yeah.
Like not on a night where Zach Wilson went for 50 yards and 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
On a night where he put up 245, 2 touchdowns, over 28 over 39. Like, can we give the kid his due? He's been being dragged through the mud Like, why are we trying to drag this kid down? And it's also different, Rocha, if you and I are talking as on Talking Heads as a show. It's another thing if we're like at the barbershop, man, that Zach Wilson trash, bro. That white boy lost his hair. We need to go ahead and find his mama and suck on the titty. I don't like that's complete.
I mean, I would be sitting while you're getting your haircut. I'm not at the barbershop, but I'm not in the barbers. They don't allow me to sit in the seats to get my haircut. But yes, I would be in the barbershop listening to you all talking about it.
That's different. But to be on national television and try to convince one player to straight up just say so-and-so is trash, and not even a situation where it's like, I remember when the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl and it was Richard Sherman against, God, what receiver was that for the Niners at the time that they beat?
Crabtree.
It was Crabtree.
Right. Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, Crabtree, you want to talk to me? You know what I'm saying? You ain't never going home. LOB. Like, that's different. Because now you're fresh off the play.
Yeah.
Crabtree and you have been going at each other nonstop, equal playing field type situation. Why would you try and kick this kid when he's been down all these weeks and he finally has something to shine on? Why are you coming at him like that? Yeah. That's unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because he's a young player trying to figure out his game. And look, I get it. There's a lot to make fun of Zach Wilson about. Certainly the stuff with sleep with his mom's friends and the stuff with his ex-girlfriend and all that. There's all that stuff. And of course, him not playing up to the level. But there's a certain amount, and I think you say it really well, Winston. There's a certain amount of back and forth that you can have about a player, right? But if you're in a bar versus on TV, there are certain parameters with how you need to deliver your criticism. And especially being a former player, it's not like Rodney Harrison played a perfect game every fucking game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how would you like it if people were jumping into your shit when you had a bad game? And this was a good game for Zach Wilson. So he was playing well. I don't understand why you'd feel the need to call him garbage. And especially Chris Jones, who just signed a massive contract for the Chiefs. And you know, Andy Reid is one of these guys that loves his players, respects the hell out of NFL players. No way were you going to get the soundbite you were looking for from someone like Chris Jones because of how the culture that Andy Reid creates in Kansas City bleeds down to the players. Look, those guys will talk shit to each other on the field. That's a different conversation. But out on the with the announcers or with the commentators and the pundits, they're not going to do that. So shout out to Chris Jones for being an absolute class act in that moment. He didn't go in on Rodney either. He just let him say his piece. Let him essentially get himself in trouble by giving him all kinds of space.
Like, bro, can you imagine we're doing the Schmodown? You just lost a heartbreaking match against like Dan Murrell, and Jen being like, Rocha, man, you were absolute garbage in round 2 and round 3. I've never seen you play so bad in my life. As a matter of fact, I can't believe you were ever a champion. How do you feel?
Yeah.
You'd be like, Jen, I will choke you. What are you talking about, bro?
Go one step further. If Jen went up to Dan and was like, Dan, what was it like playing Rocha? He's garbage, right? Rocha's garbage. Tell me the truth. Right. He's pretty garbage, isn't he? And I played Dan to like triple overtime or something, but he's garbage. Like, it would just be like, what the fuck? So yeah, it would just be crazy on so many levels.
Insane.
Yeah.
Oh. God.
But yeah, so the Chiefs were lucky to escape, but there are a lot of questions with these Chiefs. For as good as they're winning these games or whatever, there are some questions. And I don't think if they don't fix these questions and figure this out before the end of the season, they're going to get knocked out in the playoffs. Absolutely. They're not smelling a Super Bowl. And we'll see what happens with that, because there are stronger defenses and stronger offenses in the AFC they're going to have to play. It's going to be real interesting to see how they do against
I'm just saying, for the Chiefs' sake, I understand that they are 2-0 with Taylor Swift being part of the conversation.
Oh, for God's sakes.
But the way Patrick is playing, it seems to have gotten worse with all of this attention.
Yeah.
She can't go back on tour faster, because there is a part of me that feels bad for Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. At what point can you think about where it was just about how he's playing football and not his brother, not his wife, not Taylor Swift, not any of these other distractions that are happening around the team? He's still rising up and winning games, and I gotta give him credit. But can you imagine what kind of player we would see if there were zero distractions for Patrick Mahomes?
I know, but maybe he likes it this way, because I was watching Travis Kelce on his podcast with his brother, and God, I can't forget the guy that who plays over the middle, Edelman. They were just having conversations about Patrick Mahomes. They were talking about Mahomes, And Kelce just makes it very clear that Mahomes is a nerd. He's a nerd about football. Like they went to a volleyball game. They were supporting somebody's family member at a volleyball game. Mahomes stayed in the car and studied video and looked up at the volleyball game from the car window while he was studying video about the Chiefs and about his opponent. So the guy is an ultimate nerd. And that's the thing about Patrick. So I think Patrick needs the little bit of distractions to kind of balance out the nerdiness. So he has some semblance of coolness to him, but he is very committed professional guy. And there's an element of Brady and Mahomes because Brady as well. Brady was, when he tried to be cool, Brady was a nerd. And the same thing with Mahomes. When he tries to be cool, it's that cool nerd shit. And I think there's the difference between the two guys, or there's the similarity between the two guys. And you kind of have to respect that. But I agree with you. It'd be better if there were no distractions, but maybe, just maybe, he kind of likes it as a way to kind of keep him on edge and keep him working harder to get the attention of people to talk about his football. I don't know. We're all built differently.
Then I wish that there was a way in a world we could just run this experiment, take all distractions out. Jackson is off in jail because he probably might end up in jail. Brittany is just kind of chilling. She's with the kids. Look at daddy go. Yeah. And Taylor on tour. So it's just Patrick playing ball, nobody in his life making things a distraction, and just see what happens, bro. Because my God.
Yeah, we'll see. But what are we I mean, I think we're hitting, like, I want to say this. I get that the numbers are up, the viewership numbers are up for the Chiefs games. I get that they're quote unquote 2-0 since Taylor started coming. They were 1-1 before that, so but whatever. But I think we're getting to the point where it's becoming ridiculous. And the coverage of it, is ridiculous. It is no big deal for Taylor to go to a football game, hang out, celebrate, do whatever. It's a fun thing to do, whatever. But people are turning this in, like, The Athletic is covering this shit. The fucking cameramen are constantly panning to her for her reactions to everything. And look, for me, it irritates me because I'm a big football fan. And when I see someone react to a touchdown like they're discovering fire, to me, that's just like, well, come on, let's slow down, celebrate, but don't be shocked that a touchdown is possible.
No, don't.
For me, I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying for me, it bothers me. She has every right to go celebrate how she wants, but I have every right to express my opinion about it. I'm not a big fan of it. But then bringing in Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and all these, and what is Hugh Jackman? What is dad doing at the game? So to me, there's a lot of this that feels very high school-ish, cool kids getting together to cheer their friend on. And I don't like the vibe. I don't like the feeling for me personally. That's my
I am with you to a point. I think there are finer details I would push back on. I'm not coming for Ryan Reynolds. The man owns Wrexham. He has an entire show about him in sports. So no.
Yeah, I'm glad he discovered soccer. Some of us have been loving it for decades.
You clearly haven't watched the show. He's always loved soccer. And once he actually had enough money to feel like he could be a part of that world, and when he went in with Rob McElhenney and bought a team. So don't do that.
All right, fine.
So he's a sportsman. The ones that get me are like Anthony from the Fab Five of Queer Eye being there. Oh, girl, look at her go! Like that I'm like, ugh. And I'm not gonna knock her for being excited when her man scores a touchdown or when her man's team is scoring a touchdown because it happens all the time. We don't always cut to Ayesha Curry or like Steph Curry's mom every time Steph hits a half quarter. But a lot of times she out here like, let's go, son. Like, you're going to act like that's not a thing. So, no, I'm not going to come for that. However, where I agree with you, I am fully on the same page.
Yeah.
This has gotten cringy and it's gotten annoying. It's gotten cringy in the sense that the NFL, seeing this as an opportunity, knowing that they have lost women, primarily white women, between the ages of 15 and 40 because you keep letting rapists and abusers make $250 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
They see this as an opportunity to win white women back into the NFL. And so they're pushing everything. And the funny thing is, good for Taylor for seeing that and going, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to market then. She doesn't need to market her movie because that's the thing. Her movie has already multi-sold out. Every Taylor Swift fan that already went to the concert and bought 3 different tickets to go see the movie. So it's not like she needs the advertising, but good on her for being like, I'm going to take it.
Right.
But it feels like at this point, it's like when all of a sudden you see Fox News analysts being like, oh, wow, the Republicans won the House. Dab on them. Like, that's what it feels like now is the NFL being like, oh, Taylor's there. Way to go, Swifties. You did it. The Chiefs have won another game. Like, it's getting really cringy at this point. And it's gotten so bad that the Jets tickets went up, 200%?
Yes.
And now I have friends who are massive Taylor Swift fans that are like, I want to go to the Chiefs Chargers game. Oh, because you care about you care about either of those two. No, but Taylor will be there, So like I could look from across the way in my $500 nosebleeds to see her in a box and on a big screen. What? Yeah. She's not even performing. She's just there. Really?
Yeah.
No.
And look, I want to make it clear. I like Taylor Swift's music. Well, I liked her older. I feel like Eddie Bunker or whatever his name was in Reservoir Dogs. I feel like, I like the old Taylor Swift. I don't like that new stuff. But I was a fan of her stuff for a while. When she started not capitalizing titles for songs, I was like, I'm out of this pretentious shit. No thanks. But I am a fan of her doing her thing. She's selling out all over. Go get your bag. Get all that money, girl.
Get your bag.
And for people who are like, oh, it's not a public. She doesn't need this. You're idiots. Fame and celebrity, there's never enough. And people who want that, and Taylor has wanted it since she was a young teenager and going around to places to play her music to get fame and celebrity, she's been really smart. And by the same token, she's also very socially conscious, which has been great to see from her, pushing people to vote, not allowing Fox to use her music, only NBC because of Fox's affiliation with Fox News. So she very clearly is making some really strong steps on the progressive side of things, which is why you see these commentators on the right getting so pissed off and coming after. I don't like being on the same side of the right and the things that they're doing against Taylor. There are some of their complaints that I think mirror some of the things that I'm saying, but they're taking it way too far. Absolutely. So to me, this is whole thing. I think she's got every right. I'm not gatekeeping her going to a game, go and knock yourself out. It's just the over-the-top reactions that for me have always bothered me about Taylor, but that's my own personal thing. And so
which
to have it
she does it every
new
Grammy
arena, it just bothers.
You said that every time she went to Grammy, like you love making fun of that. But here's the thing. I think I would come off it if two things were the case. Mm-hmm. If I saw a real push from the NFL, then approaching Taylor and being like, look, we know we have a bad image problem with women and we know we need to do better. Would you consider being an ambassador for us and helping us implement programs to change some of this? So all of a sudden we do look at what would be an appropriate kind of punishment. How would we handle things for players that are doing X, Y, and Z? What are we actually doing to support women that are watching this sport now? If that is what was happening, I would give the NFL more of a pass, but it feels like, as it always is, a cash grab to know that you have one of the most influential women in the world and specifically influence over women and particularly white women to be like, this is an opportunity we can use to cash in. I hate that. That pisses me off. It was cute the first game, and now because of how they're cashing in on it, it's annoying. I just want to watch football or let Taylor enjoy the game, but stop using this as a tool.
I wouldn't care if they did. If they like the fact that they pandered 17 times. Someone counted it 17 times during that game with the Jets and the Chiefs. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. 4 times Pantor. And Sean saying it's her boyfriend. We don't know what their relationship status is, Sean. So you can put that bullshit down. We don't know what's going on between them. There's been verification. There's not been any kind of official statement about their relationship. So who knows what's going on? They could be just really good friends that both are smartly using to make money in the situation and to increase their influence. If you think Travis just wanted to be a football player, you're a moron. Travis Kelce understands the game.
He's been the podcast.
Yeah, he's been on SNL. He's doing commercials. Mm-hmm. The guy knows that there's a future and a life outside of the game, and he's preparing it. And so being with Taylor Swift, or even both of them getting together and seeing how far we can take this and mess with the fans or whatever, I think it's very, very smart. It's good business. And I hate people who try to treat Taylor Swift like she's this 15-year-old girl who just discovered all these things and innocent and pure. No, man, she's smart. She runs her business smartly. She's a business woman. And so she understands what she's doing. This is a new arena to increase her appeal. And it's dangerous for her because she's come out as being anti-Trump. So she's risking losing some fans by going into an arena like this and being the focus of attention. So
she'll be fine.
I do give respect.
She's the same way. Honestly, that Trump is Teflon. So is Taylor.
Yeah,
the closest she's gotten to potentially losing fans was dating that scrub that was apparently doing some racist shit.
Well, that's it. Matty Healy from 1975.
Right.
Like that was the last guy she dated.
That's what I'm saying. That was the closest she got to, and even then, she's got vice grip on her fans. They love her more than anything in the entire world. So no, she's doing just fine.
Yeah.
And again, I don't fault her for living her life and enjoying herself and all that. I don't fault the people that love her music and like, good for you. I'm happy for you. Yeah. Now I'm smelling a grift.
Yes.
That's the problem. And it may not be from Taylor. Yeah. It's from outside forces.
Right.
But that is now making it obnoxious. Is because now I can smell the grift.
Joseph said she's coming after Usher's Super Bowl spot. If they announce that, oh my God.
She's passed apparently 4 times. They constantly ask her. She's not interested.
Yeah. Maybe next year the door will open and whatever. So we'll see.
I'll tell you this. She better marry Travis Kelce better marry Taylor Swift. Because if not, he gonna be famous for all the wrong reasons, bro.
Yeah,
she gonna make $1 billion album off his ass if he don't fucking marry her. Or he better, you know what it is? It better just be a very, you know what? It just didn't work out. Like that black lady decided his ex that decided that she wanted to try and get 15 minutes of fame. He better not cheat because that'll be a wrap on Travis Kelce, my guy. Oh my God.
Hold on. I thought I saw, hold on a second. I thought I saw something the other day, and I'm going to see if I can find it because you mentioned this. I don't know if here it is. So, here it is. Someone, and look, I'm not supporting AI. But someone created a Taylor Swift breakup song for Travis Kelce. And so I'm going to listen to as much as we can of it, but yeah.
You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to 30, and you did right then. You put the end in tight ends.
Oh,
and as I
God.
touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play.
Winston. Oh, come on now. I want that song immediately.
So that was written by a dude that he put it on TikTok and it started to go viral. Then someone took that and then put AI to it. I appreciate that they still are giving that guy credit for coming up with that. And I think that is something very funny that like she did when she was on SNL, she did this is my monologue. Like that was pretty funny. So if she had improvised that and she was like, you know, guys, I've been dating NFL superstar Travis Kelce, but sometimes like I'm damaged. Like I'd be thinking about what happens if we broke up, and then she improvised that. That would have been genius,
right? 100%.
This makes me want to jump out of the building, like just fall a few stories and see what break the other leg. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus.
I do want to play one more thing for you, Winston, and then I know we got to take a break. God damn it! But listen, take a look at this. This also happened in the Jets-Chiefs game. DJ Reed almost killed Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you saw this play.
I don't know.
But here's DJ Reed. Whoop! Oh, almost killed him coming 100 miles per hour.
It's all angles. It's angles. It's all angles. Patrick saw it because they showed it from the back, and Patty, like he was running full speed, and Patrick goes, like it was it reminded me of how, because Shady McCoy used to do a dance every time he would drill somebody, he'd be like, ah. But like Patrick Mahomes did it real simple. As soon as he gave me just like, whoop, and just like got out of the way, but
Just
it
moved
looks,
out of the way.
or the way Steph sometimes shoots his 3-point shots, where all of a sudden he'll just take a quick little,
Yeah.
like it looked way worse than it was. Like Pat saw it coming and just hopped out of the way. So
Slipped out of the way. All right, one last game, and then we got to take a break because I know we're running long here. But Travis Henry here for the Titans. He threw for a score, ran for 122 yards. And the Titans routed Joe Burrow and the Bengals here 27-3. Winston. Ryan Tannehill threw for 240 yards and a touchdown. And Joe Burrow only had he was sacked 3 times and only had 165 yards throwing through the air, and also was stripped of the ball. 1-3 after signing this massive contract. I know there's been an injury here, and they were lucky to beat the Rams last week. They could really easily be 0-4. Are we looking at the possibility that this is just a terrible season and a one-off for Joe Burrow, or are we looking at a possible overrated situation? Look, remember Mark Sanchez took the Jets to 2 AFC championships and then was never heard from again with the butt fumble. So
why did you just have balloons pop across your face?
What just happened there?
You fully froze. Some balloons popped up, and then there you go. That was weird. No, I don't. Here's the thing. I genuinely think that this is instead of giving him his rest, on top of the fact that, you know, he might have been a baby bit out of shape because of when the injury happened during practice in the off season.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to force something that's going on here. Cause like Burrow wasn't out here in these streets like White Vic, you know what I'm saying? But he was a little bit more mobile in the pocket where he's kind of shaving things here and there because of how many times he used to get sacked.
Yeah.
Because that O-line was atrocious. The O-line's still not great. They have improved, but that calf injury is clearly a thing. And you got to remember, the power in your throws come from your legs.
Yeah.
If his legs are still not doing well, he's not going to be able to kind of nail all that. And I think you have found the Achilles heel of the Bengals. It's Joe Burrow. He already got them to a Super Bowl and was one play away from winning it.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like Aaron Donald came out of nowhere to put a kibosh on that game because he was rolling down the field.
Yep.
You know, so no, I do not think we're in a situation where we're going to see a bust. If we're talking about this a year and a half from now, like he's still doing this and he's fully healthy, then sure. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like with Daniel Jones where he was mid to okay.
Yeah.
And then you gave him that contract and now he's terrible. Right. You're talking about Joe Burrow was in talks for MVPs, was out there almost winning them Super Bowls. He is clearly hurt right now and he's trying to play.
Yeah, fair point. Well, we'll see what happens. And the Titans, incredible. It's Jekyll and Hyde, the Titans, but that entire division is now 2-2. So who knows who's going to take that crazy ass division with CJ Stroud looking like he's the real deal.
Look at Derrick Henry throwing a touchdown pass.
I know. Derrick taking care of business.
100 he had a 100 QBR. Look at Derrick Henry, the best quarterback in all the league, god damn it. He's throwing 100% from the field for one touchdown. That's my guy.
Derrick's arms are so long that when he throws, his arm is already 10 yards down the field. So let's take a quick break and we'll talk the rest of the NFL right after this. All right, I'm going to run through the scores here real quick. Winston, we'll talk about what we need to talk about here. Daniel Jones threw a 97-yard pick six here as the Seahawks beat the Giants 24-3. I ask, is he cooked? We'll talk about that. David Montgomery ran wild last Thursday for the Lions as they beat the Packers 34-20. A surprisingly good game between these two teams. Lamar Jackson's 4 touchdowns led the Ravens over the Browns here without Deshaun Watson. Make that clear, 28-3. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks, and Justin Herbert had 3 touchdowns to lead the Chargers to a 24-17 win over Khalil Mack's former team, the Raiders there. Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdowns as the Buccaneers topped the Saints. Derek Carr struggling in that game, 26-9. The Buccaneers are a quiet 3-1, ladies and gentlemen, with Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback. Matt Stafford threw a winning touchdown and Nakua there in overtime to give the Rams a 29-3 victory over the Colts, a very game Colts team. CJ Stroud might be for real, leading the Texans over the Steelers here 30-6. And Pickett got knocked out of that game. Justin Jefferson's 2 touchdowns lifted the Vikings over the Panthers 21-13. The Jaguars beat Atlanta 23-7 in London to even up their record, and Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns, leading the Broncos back from 21 down to the Bears and beat them 31-28. What do you want to talk about from these games, Winston?
I want to talk about 3 quick things. First of
Okay.
all, Bears are fucking awful. Like,
Yes.
the Bears are so bad, bro.
So
like
bad.
they're so bad. Second, just working my way back up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Toy Story for a dope game out of London, bro. I'm trying to have Woody as like a referee and Slinky Dog as the chain the whole rest of the season. But what I want to talk about, all these games are very interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about how fraudulent Daniel Jones is, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
put it on the tape.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He is so bad. Like, he is so bad. And this whole game, what I really took away from this is, I don't know if there are Giants fans in here. Y'all some dirty motherfuckers. Because no, real talk. That was
that hit on the hit on Gino.
I'll give the hit on Gino a little bit of credit. They were still inbounds when it happened. The weight fell on or whatever, but the number of fights they started later on in the game and whatnot, like the cheap shots you were seeing about random stuff. I am not a fan, bro. So because all of a sudden y'all are trash, you're just gonna fight dirty. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. And we clearly saw who should have got the contract and then who should have got the franchise tag. Yeah. Mind you, the concern, and I see it with Barkley, is the fact that he stays injured.
Yep.
I get that, but it's clear who is actually moving this offense.
Yeah. It's Barkley. It's Barkley 100%. Daniel Jones has been terrible since Barkley went out. He needs that running back to give him cover, and it's rough to watch sometimes. And it wasn't even done. We saw this in the game. I don't know if you saw this as well, Winston, but Dable and Daniel Jones having their issues here,
bro.
On the sideline. I mean, here's Dable trying to show him.
Talked about
after the pick.
You see that? You're supposed to throw the ball to our players, dumbass.
Damn it, just study,
bro.
So,
my favorite part was seeing all the New Yorkers, including Dable, and just how disappointed they were. There was one dude who was just like, oh my God. There are 2 kids that were just here watching the 97-yard pick 6, and they were like, oh my God. Though I will say, probably, I take it back. My favorite interception of this week was in the Vikings played Carolina. The fact that the dude from Carolina was putting up 22 miles per hour to catch up to help block just so he could truck the shit out of Kirk Cousins. Did you see that? Hold on. I'll pull it up real fast if you want to talk about the game you want to talk about. I died.
No, the shots I feel bad for the Giants fans. Just the shots. I mean, Homie wore a Lucha Libre mask and just looked like he was the most depressed person on the planet watching the situation. Here you go. Let's take a look at this. Is from FanDuel. They caught a dude ripping off his jersey. Like, this is, look at this. Just that's it. I'm out of here. I can't take it anymore. There you go. That's
dead,
true fandom.
I'm dead.
You're not a fan if you haven't ripped off your shirt at some point.
And exactly. Okay, so here you go. I would go ahead and share mine off.
Okay.
Turn the audio off. Okay, so Kirk Cousins throws it. It's about 6. Here's Kurt trying to stop it. I'm gonna get him. Come on now. I said, hell no. Fuck you, Kurt. 22 miles per hour so he could get a shot on both Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. That hit one more again. My guy turned on the afterburner.
Look at that. Bang.
Kirk Cousins.
That's your best friend in the club running interference when someone's drunkenly coming up to you, man. That's absolutely a perfect thing.
Bro. Holy shit.
No, I mean, for me, I want to talk CJ. Yeah, I do think Daniel Jones is cooked. I didn't believe in him last year. He had a 1-year anomaly of a year, and we see that, right? I mean, Baker may be repeating that. You know, the 1 year he led the Browns to the playoffs. They beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and then it was crap afterwards. He may be repeating it with Tampa Bay. So I'm kind of quietly cheering for Baker to do it with way less attention on him, and let's see how he does there. But CJ Stroud over there in the Houston, dude, he may be the real deal. Like, we're just quietly putting it together, putting a lot of points on the board. If you're not picking up players on the Texans right now in fantasy as like to stash on your team, you're doing it wrong. You better. There's a couple of receivers they got on there that are getting some nice points on fantasy because of how CJ is finding him, and he's learning this game quick. And so this could be a really interesting thing to watch. The Texans may surprise everybody and win that fucking division. And the guy's division is so up in the air with Richardson, with Trevor Lawrence, who still can't figure out how to consistently win games. And Tennessee, we don't know what you have in Ryan Tannehill. So that's a possibility. So I like the Texans in all of this.
The way Joe Burrow's playing, I'm going to have to go over here and pick up CJ Stroud real quick.
Yeah, if he's available, I would
It's either CJ or Brock Purdy. And I'm not going to put that bad juju in the air where I have to root for the person that I want to just fail miserably. So we're just going to go ahead and keep going. I'm still listening.
Okay. And one more thing, the Lions, man. I am so cheering for the Lions. They did a really nice job against those Packers. It's last Thursday, so it's so many days have passed. I don't always like to lead or talk about the main in the main section of the show about Thursday Night Football, but this game, man, the Lions looked really good. I like this team. They had a bit of a stumble earlier in the season, but they are absolutely ready and dialed in, and it's going to be fun to watch them chew up the NFC. And don't be surprised if it's the Lions versus 49ers NFC championship game. Do not be fucking surprised. We've seen this happen all the time in the NFL where a team just kind of figures it out as the season goes along, gets stronger and stronger. And I think if they had snuck in the playoffs, they could have shocked some people last year. So we'll see if Campbell's got that team fully ready with Jared Goff to take care of some business here going into the next few weeks here on their schedule. And if they look for real and what they're going to do in the playoffs, we shall see for sure. So I like that situation. Is there anybody else I want to give some love to? No, I'm like that Matt Stafford's having a bit of a bounce back season from last year. And that's pretty much it. All right. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's move on.
What's your thoughts on Chase Claypool here, man? This is a story that you wanted to discuss. Chase Claypool has now been told by the Bears to stay home. He was a healthy scratch from the game that just happened over the weekend against the Broncos, and now he is not traveling with the team to Washington for the game against the Commanders. Remember, Commanders. And remember, they traded to get Chase Claypool last year. The Bears did, and it has not worked out. And now they're only asking for a 5th or 6th round pick for the former Pittsburgh Steeler. What do you think's going on here?
I think the Bears are a dumpster fire organization. How many receivers have they brought in that have fully? What is the opposite of living up to your potential? Because that is what every single receiver that's gone there has turned into. But you turned them into busts. You've done the same with quarterbacks for whatever reason, other than running backs, which is something that the Bears have always been very known for having a strong run game. You have ruined every quarterback and every receiver that has ended up on that team.
Yeah.
Like Claypool wasn't like world breaker, but Claypool was fucking good. And you have ruined this man. And then to be lying about he was the one that was like, he wasn't trying to come, but then we actually told him to stay home. Like there's all this back and forth where the team can't get their story straight. The Bears are a dumpster fire of an organization. I guess their big thing they're bragging about right now is that they have currently, as they sit, the number 1 and number 2 pick going into the draft. If you want to feel good about that, yes, that means Caleb, but that fucking sucks. I don't want Caleb to go and watch his ass get ruined by the Bears too. I'm not going to let you ruin another brother at quarterback on some bullshit. Enough of this. No more. We're done with this. I'm going to get a petition going that the Bears are no longer allowed to draft quarterbacks. You can have backup quarterback, but you damn no black quarterbacks no more. You're not going to do this.
That's a fair point. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, people can use there's a lot of teams that could use an NFL receiver, especially as the season goes along. And injuries happen. You never know if Chase is going to be necessary for them. And I thought it was funny as shit. And I agree with you. It is a dumpster fire over there in Chicago, from the defensive coordinator resigning over some nefarious shit that hasn't been released yet that we don't know about, to the way they've been playing on the field, to Justin Fields of all. Justin Fields went after the coaching, then walked it back a couple of weeks ago. And then he's the one, when asked about Chase Claypool, who says, well, he needs to get a hold of his emotions and the way he expresses them on camera. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just said some shit about the coaching that got you in trouble. So that kind of amnesia in thinking is difficult to take a look at and to think you're going to have a healthy place for you to thrive in. So hopefully There's a team
Bro,
looking at
if
the
y'all
situation and
lose
thinks
to
they
the
need
Bears next week,
what? Oh, we're not losing to the Bears on Thursday. I'll tell you this right now. We're gonna crush the Bears. The Bears are coming in wounded. We are gonna
Bro.
maul the shit out of the Bears.
If you lose to the Bears
Cut it
on
out.
Thursday,
Cut it out. We're gonna. I might do a live watch along on this channel that game.
I would watch it with you, because if you lose to the Bears on Thursday, I will never let you live it down. You think people were mean to me about the damn Cardinals? If y'all lose to the Bears.
You know what's crazy? We have 3 winnable games: the Bears, the Falcons, and the Giants. That's 3 winnable games before we play the Eagles at home. We could beat the Eagles at home after what happened in Philadelphia. So this is going to be interesting to see how our season goes the next few weeks. We could be sitting pretty in the wild card position, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. Let's move on to some NBA stuff, man. As we're wrapping up the show here, the Blazers dealt Damian Lillard Dame time. I'm sorry, it's a lot. I need a drink, bro.
the Blazers did Damian Lillard.
The Bills and the people and the people and the Bills. But no, Blazers defeated. They dealt Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks in a blockbuster 3-team deal. Pretty big stuff here, Winston, to see Dame already heading over and being so happy with Milwaukee. Him and Giannis apparently have had a good relationship with each other, and people went back and found like old tweets. And certainly at the All-Star draft 2 years ago, Giannis took Dame over Drew Holiday on his own squad there to be his first choice there. So clearly there's been respect between the two players. And now you're looking at the situation for Portland. They are so smart. They have stacked themselves up with some good players here. They got some nice players out of Phoenix, and then they traded Drew Holiday to the Celtics to get Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams III. So some good defensive stuff and a good point guard of Malcolm Brogdon. So some interesting moves here by Portland.
Wait. They got Drew Holiday, then they traded him over to the Celtics?
Yes, to the Celtics.
When did
and
that happen?
The Celtics took him and they traded them center Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2024 first-round pick via Golden State, and a 2029 first-round pick is also heading to the Blazers. So this is really smart work overall. But what a lot of people are talking about is that this feels like the age of player empowerment is coming to an end, where these guys can cry their way out of their contracts early, out of situations with these organizations. Remember, the Sixers are still holding on to James Harden, who didn't show up to media day or anything like that, because they want to get a better deal for them. So, A, what do you think of the trade? And B, do you think this is a good thing that teams and executives are kind of retaking a little bit of the power from these players? Because there have been like 17 players over the last few seasons that have tried to get out of their massive contracts and force trades for themselves and putting teams in deficiency because they announced they want to trade. And so that erodes the leverage a team might have. What are your thoughts on this?
I think the winner of all of these trades, because now you're talking about the 3-team trade and the follow-up with the Celtics, is the Portland Trailblazers. And for a number of reasons. You hate to see someone like Lillard go. Right. He's a generational talent.
100%.
This guy is ridiculous, but he has been so loyal to you this entire time. You gave him the opportunity to genuinely go and do his thing. Yeah. I think that is super, super cool. I'm really, really happy for Dame that he now has a shot to legitimately go get a title and play with another superstar.
Even though he wanted to go to Miami, they still sent him to a good situation.
But they also, you had a situation where going to Miami, I think while pairing him up with Butler is dope, I think you have a much stronger pairing between him and Giannis.
100%.
I think you're getting him. You're also talking about a team that has actually been a champion. I know the Heat have gone to 2 finals, but they couldn't get the deal done. And I know it's because they need another piece or 2 to finish.
Yeah.
But I think you're putting him in a much better situation with Milwaukee to do that. Yeah. But then just from the idea of just being a true chaos maker, they didn't just give their generational player to the Bucks for some good stuff. They then turned around and took the defensive player from the Bucks that is a monster on defense and handed it to their biggest rival. So they said, Dame, good luck on that ring. We hope you get it, but also good luck beating Boston. Like, you found a way to literally just mess with everybody in the East at the same time and got some assets out of it at the same time. I think that is so cool of Portland to do it. But I'm so happy for Dame. I hope that he's able to really get to where he wants to go based on what's going on. I feel a little bad for Miami because my hate for them has slowly started to subside over the years because I like Jimmy Butler. But we gonna talk about this hair, bro, because I'll tell you, it sounds like Jimmy was so upset about Dame not coming. He was like, I chimed in with, haven't you people ever heard of trading Dame Lillard to Miami? Like, he looks so upset, bro.
Let's take a look at Jimmy and some of the, Winston, you want to explain this to me? What is going on here, my man?
This has to be a Halloween costume.
Come on.
I don't know what is happening, bro.
Come on, bro. Tell me what's going on here. Some people are saying they're comparing him to Jermaine Stewart. Saying like he's like, we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. That's what they're saying about him. Bro, so, I mean, what do we feel about this hair?
The fact that he then turned around and got a lip and an eyebrow piercing, or an eyebrow and a nose piercing after that. Come on, bro. What is happening? I gotta believe that this is some sort of gimmick because
look at that.
Is it is lip too. I don't understand.
Oh,
I don't know. That one was funny. That one was funny. I saw that. That one was funny.
Oh, did they add him?
Yeah, that's right there. Right there at the bottom right. You see that?
Let's take a look.
Oh, dude, I genuinely think that this has to be like a trolling situation because this homeboy can't even keep a straight face during media day.
You know,
this has to be a joke.
He's having fun, man. He's having fun. Someone did a great TikTok of Jermaine Stewart singing right underneath Jimmy as he's walking out. So that was so interesting for sure. Let's see what else I got on the list here that we should talk about. Oh, LeBron James. Did you hear this? LeBron James came out. God, I love LeBron. He's such a trolling son of a bitch. I love him to pieces. LeBron said to ESPN on the Lakers media day, he said that, Anthony Davis, he is the face of the franchise. You look at all these retired numbers that surround this facility, all the greats that have come here, and AD is one of them. He is absolutely the guy. And Anthony Davis responded about the Nuggets and said, oh, yeah, they won one, but, we're coming. We're coming to go. They can crow about it all they want. We're coming for them. So what do you think about this? Hey, does this feel like LeBron going, you know what? Don't blame me if we fail. Anthony Davis is the face of the franchise, not me anymore. And also Anthony Davis calling out the Nuggets for bragging about their championship. Like the Lakers don't brag about their championships all the time. So is this gamesmanship? What is it going on here?
I mean, we know LeBron's run is almost over. Homie's going to be retiring in a few years. So that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You know what LeBron James did? What fucking Dianne Feinstein should have done before she died is be like, hey, I'm ready to bring in the next generation. This is who you should be supporting over here. That's what Mitch McConnell, I don't fuck with the right, but that's what Mitch McConnell should be doing. That's what Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have been doing. That's what Biden and Trump should be doing is literally being like, my time is done. Here is the next generation who is going to take you to the promised land. So for him to be an adult, be an adult in the room and LeBron be honest and be like, my time's up. I'm still LeBron James, but Anthony's the face, baby. He's the face. And like that's my thing.
Okay.
What I love about LeBron is he is very rarely out of touch, and there's a reason why you have heard very little no scandal. The only scandals you've ever heard LeBron be a part of is when like his LA home has the N-word spray painted on it. It's not because LeBron did something. It's not because he's out here at the club and got a DUI.
No, he doesn't get into that kind of trouble. You're absolutely right. 100%. Yeah.
So that's it and that's all. I love LeBron saying this because it's also calling Anthony Davis out.
Yeah, a bit.
You are the face of the team now. Yeah. You need to be the one that's making us win these chips. I will be there to support you, but you are the face, my guy. So it's time to step up and do it.
But that means that if you're saying Anthony is the face of the franchise, then Anthony should wield the power that LeBron has been wielding over the last few seasons. You can say there's no controversy about LeBron in the club. That's fine. He doesn't get called. He doesn't get caught with DUIs, or he doesn't get caught beating his wife or anything terrible like that, right? But there is political machinations, political moves he has made screwing teams over after he brings them a title and leaves them bereft of draft picks and bereft of players because they needed to win now. There is a legacy of that, LeBron. So coming to LA, they did get the chip.
Him.
What?
He said, if you would like for me to bring my talents to your organization,
yes,
this is what I'm going to need.
This is what I need.
What did they say? Okay.
Yeah,
and what did he do? Every team that he has gone to, they have gotten at least one title out of it.
They have won a chip. You're right.
100%. Every single time.
Cavaliers, Heat, and Lakers. Yes.
He leaves you with the chip.
Yep.
So if you sold your soul for one ring, that's on you. Yeah. But there's only, a champion a year? So you still get to be in the very small lexicon of champions that still that counts. And you got to be a part of LeBron history.
It's just little things he does. Like he tried to say that he wasn't behind the Russell Westbrook trade when everybody fucking knew he was behind the Russell Westbrook trade to bring Russell here. So there are some things he does that kind of brand save and claim that he's not a part of when he is. So I respect and love LeBron, honestly. Second best player to ever play the game, in my opinion. It's still Jordan. You're never going to talk about it, Jordan. But this situation, to me, feels a little bit like LeBron is saying he's the face of the franchise, so don't come blame me if we don't make the playoffs or do well. And I hear you. He's calling on Anthony, telling him to step up. But that means Anthony Davis should be able to go to management like LeBron did behind the scenes and lobby for the players that Anthony Davis wants like LeBron did. Anthony Davis won that title with LeBron. So to me, this is, if you're saying that Anthony should get all the perks that come with being the face of the franchise.
He has to
which
prove
is
it
him
first.
deciding who he
but
wants.
That's the problem. But there's a difference. LeBron has proved it. Anthony, he's essentially saying, because Anthony has been very good, but his main thing that's been bothering him more than anything is he's injury prone. So to that point, 100%. This is the time for Anthony to step up and be the guy. Right. And if he steps up to be the guy, guess what you get to do when you're the guy? You get to call shots. You know what I'm saying? Until Anthony has to do it now.
I tried to call shots in the Smowdown. Christian wouldn't let me, the son of a bitch. All right, when I had the title, I mean. All right, let's hit some of these Streamlabs before we get out of here, because I know Winston's got to eat. Mike Joyce says, Rocha, I hope your Commanders can whoop my Bears on Thursday Night Football. So do I. They need to hit rock bottom so everyone gets fired and the owners sell the team. I don't disagree with you. That's 100% correct. You guys, I bet Bears fans are longing for the Charles Nagy years. I bet they're longing for the Nagy years now. I am Two Fly Cam, a Seahawks fan, says, awesome week of NFL. Those Seahawks are looking great and deadly. I don't know about great. I don't know about deadly. Commanders lose again. Rocha, score predictions. I mean, we didn't play the chumps you played. Score predictions for Cowboys 49ers. I say San Francisco 30, Cowboys 19. Also, Chiefs games are unwatchable with all this Taylor Swift promotion.
You think they're going to hang 30 on us?
That's what he's saying, man. What do you think about this? Winston, you address this question.
There's gonna be no goddamn 30. It's probably like, look, from a fan standpoint, we win 24-21. From an analyst standpoint, they win 27-21.
Okay. I got 49ers 47, Cowboys 9. That's what I got at the end of the game. So we'll see what happens with that game.
Wait, did I do bad math? No. I got it right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. 49ers, they're winning 45-10 is what I think. I think they're going to crush the Cowboys. That's my opinion, but I know I'm wrong.
You said 45-10?
Yeah, 45-10. That's what I think is going to happen on Sunday.
You want to fight. That's what you want. You want to catch these hands. All right, catch these hands. You gonna act like we don't have the biggest point differential out of every motherfucking team.
I know.
You gonna catch these motherfucking hands. I
swear. Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy apparently is going to watch our show and be motivated by your trash talk. And he's going to come out there and throw like 5 touchdowns.
Let him.
I'd love it if afterwards he's, well, I watched Wednesday Marshall on Game Time. And
what the fuck is a Game Time? Bro, the only team now to surpass us with the point differential is the Bills by 1 because of the game that they just hung up. We have an 83 point differential right now. And you going to tell us that the San Francisco 49ers are going to hang up like a damn Dolphins over Bears score? You kiss my ass.
Wow, that's a strong statement. Asking me to kiss his ass. I mean, who did you play? The Giants, the Jets, the Cardinals, and the okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right. Let's. Dejoto 15 says they literally solved Tupac's murder before the Dallas Cowboys made another NFC Championship game.
I mean, here's the thing. That should have been solved. The cops have been asleep at the motherfucking wheel. Okay, the dude snitched on himself. There have been interviews.
He did.
There have been interviews where he was like, they would be like, oh, Mike Tyson said he wants 5 minutes in the ring with the guy that shot Pac, and he's like, I ain't got no beef with Tyson. He's like, I hope Tyson hurt him. Like this has happened. The dude that they've arrested has been in interviews snitching on himself.
Yeah.
So how dare you? Those are not comparable.
I mean, all right. And one last one here from Doug Developer. What's up, Doug? He said, where do you guys stand on pundits and fans wanting to ban the brotherly shove? It's been an unstoppable play for the Eagles. Yeah, the brotherly shove. What do you think about this, Winston? It's essentially the Bush push from college with Reggie and what have you. So do you think it's fair? Do you think it's unfair? What are your thoughts on it? And I'll bring it up for people to have a context of what Doug is asking about. Here is the Bush push or the brush. The brotherly love thing that they do there. They just stack it up and push is what they do.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's fine. One, Brady used to do something similar where he would just dive directly underneath his center and they would push him a little bit too. So one, it's been going on for a while. Yeah. Two, there have actually been a couple examples this year where other people have attempted to emulate the Eagles.
Yes.
And they actually did not convert it. And I actually remember laughing to myself being like, bro, the unstoppable play, you ended up screwing it up. So that's on you. I think it's a part of the game. It's not illegal. Nobody is. If you're finding out that the Eagles are in there like throwing dirt in defenders' eyes or pulling a holding call, then let's have a different conversation. But it's a completely legal play. So whatever.
Yeah. Until you make it illegal, it's a legal play. And I think, and I may not like it. Like I didn't like the Bush push. I think that was bullshit. I don't like it when college teams do it. But if it's allowed to happen in the NFL, then it's a legal play and you can use
That's what I'm saying.
This idea of
the Patriots tried it. The Patriots tried it this past weekend, and the Cowboys stopped it. So if you don't like the Bush push or whatever, the brotherly shove, whatever you're calling it, stop it. Don't let them get to fourth and half an inch. Okay,
well,
play better defense.
The center presses 600 pounds with his legs, so that'll help you get a push into a line. So you've got to get the right people involved with the Bush push or the brotherly shove in order to make it work, and the Eagles have. So
do like you don't like it, stop it. I don't put yourself in the position that they can use that against you. How about that?
100%. All right, those are all the Streamlabs and all the stuff we got to talk about, Winston. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out on the show, brother. I always love doing it with you every week. Please let people know what you got going on everywhere they can find your stuff, my man.
Hey, man, you can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all the platforms. Clearly, you're going to be having a little bit of a panic attack during Sunday Night Football. I don't know if I'm going to live tweet it or not because I got some homies coming over, but I might. So if you just want to see where my mind's at during all that, it might be kind of humorous. If Rocha does do a live stream on Thursday, I'll make myself available. That sounds hilarious.
Okay.
I will make myself available. Let me double check the calendar. Hold on. Where the calendar at?
Yeah, I got no
Thursday. So. I got time. today. So if you want to do this on Thursday, fuck it. Let's go. Other than that, please, again, follow me on the socials. I got to do my SVU for the day. I got to get back to work first, but I'm going to do my SVU. I just got to figure out who I'm going to make the most fun of this time. I feel like it'd be really funny to make fun of Daniel Jones. If y'all got somebody, if you tell me, I'm going to do this right now. Go on Twitter. I'm going to put up a poll. Which one should I make fun of? And then I'll go write my script for it and do it. Y'all let me know. All right. At the Swaggy Blurred.
Would if the Chiefs had lost, would you have done one with Taylor and Taylor Swift and all?
I might do one for that anyway if people want me to, because like Zach Wilson's a whole story. Like whatever y'all want to do.
It's a fair point. I like that. Let's go vote on that, ladies and gentlemen. Go vote for him at the Swaggy Blurred. Help him out. As for you can follow me at the Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. As Winston said, might be doing a live watch along here. We'll announce it if we're doing it on Thursday night, 5:15 p.m. PT. Watching the game here. I've got Prime Video, so for me, I'm set up to watch it, no problem. So you want to hang out with us and watch the game, feel free. Let extension of the channel a little bit. That'll be a blast. All my other stuff going on, my other podcasts, the Cinephiles, the Top 10 and the Hot Mic that are, not the Top 10, the Geek Buddies and the Hot Mic that are out there for you all to enjoy as well. So y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. Go see, look forward to Loki Season 2. My review is going to come out on my other channel later on today. Had a blast watching all 4 episodes. And I'll talk to you, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of Game Time. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace, everybody.